Hello, welcome back to Doctor Who The Eternity Clock Part 10. This part will be breaking the silence. That's why this enemy is called the Silence. So, silence will fall. Break the silence. Silent but deadly. That's why they're called the Silence, so we can make those puns based off the silence. Moffat man, he loves his wordplay. Oh, by the way, she likes a bit of rough. I'm not sure how I feel about that joke. This is still for the kids, presumably. And you know, you can slip, you can slip an innuendo past the kiddies, but she likes a bit of rough. That's a bit near the knuckle. Alright, a bit of a hop, skip and a jump here. Yes, and that's where we are now. We're about to finish off this time period. And, yeah. And break the silence. Lol. An angel. Now, I do wonder what the Weeping Angels would be like in this game. And maybe they wouldn't work as much. I mean, you've seen how the silence work here. They essentially disappear if you look away from them. So, who would... I don't think you could do it, because, essentially, you can't walk backwards in this game. So if you had the Whipping Angels as an enemy, you couldn't exactly move away from them and keep your eye on them. So, essentially, they wouldn't work in this 2D format. That's alright. We don't need every iconic villain here. More hats, and this section here gets quite non-linear. I'm trying to refuse the phrase wibbly wobbly timey wimey and all that nonsense. And no, I don't mind the Doctor Who playing with time travel story elements, obviously. Yeah, but saying that, for the entire series, new and old, time travel doesn't actually come up that often as a storyline. Obviously, nearly every story includes time travel because the TARDIS arrives. But what I mean is time where... I mean stories where it's basically non-linear. Stories where time travel actually plays a part in the storyline. They're actually not that... They're actually fairly rare. Which is odd for a show about time travel, but that's essentially the part, the point of it. It's just meant to be a premise to get you anywhere you want or would like to go. It's raining outside in the game. The silence like the rain. Oh, and something I didn't point out before is that River, I suppose she recognises the silence? Question mark. Because she sees the silence and goes, the silence. And I thought to myself, how do you know what they look like? You're not supposed to remember what they look like. But then I am reminded, she did recognise she was in a silent ship. So obviously she didn't recognise them per se, she just thought, oh, those must be the silence. Even though that's not what the dialogue suggests. And right, this part here, I remember this part now. It glitched out. I couldn't jump or climb up that ladder. Oh, that's another thing too. I've been fairly lucky through this run, but this game is known for quite a few glitches. It's not broken, although saying that, glitches do seem to be more common nowadays. Or at least, no, I don't think they're necessarily more common. It's just that we notice them more. Assassin's Creed glitches, where people's face disappeared. To be fair, glitches are sort of inevitable. Like some of the best programmed games of all time, if you play them long enough or experiment with them, you can probably find any glitches in almost any game, which is unfortunate. But it just happens. And they released a patch to fix it, so fair enough. You know, there shouldn't be obviously glitches like that. You know, big obvious ones, but uh, this is notorious, especially with the River's AI not sort of working when you want it to. But yeah, this run I've been fairly lucky with it. She's done what she's told. I'm all right, fellas. River. I haven't talked much about her, but yeah, it's tricky because I just don't think the Doctor having a wife is a good idea. Because obviously, well, first of all, the Doctor, you know, picking up ladies, that's something he never did in the classic series. He was never really a romantic figure per se. You could argue it was always there in subtext, but it was never explicitly said. And that's part of a reason why I'm against it. It just feels like they're just doing the obvious. It's like, hey, the Doctor likes companions. What if he fell in love with them? Wouldn't that be great? And the second reason, it's really divisive, I would say, because you have a character like Rose and River, and they basically say, "Oh, the Doctor's in love with these people. They're really important to him." And it essentially feels like you're saying your companions are the better ones, because the Doctor likes them the most.
Okay, some sort of witch.
You know, and say if you certainly you like a companion or you dislike them, and if they fall in love with the Doctor, you're either gonna hate that companion more, or like them more, or maybe not at all. And that's why it's so controversial. I mean, for like Rose, the Rose and 10 thing, you know, you probably didn't mind. You probably really liked it. But if you didn't like Rose, that just made things worse. And that's probably a good reason why there shouldn't be romance per se. It's just divisive, and you're not going to win everybody over with them. It's like you're catering to just a very niche part of the audience with them. And the second reason is the Doctor isn't going to settle down. He's not going to get all domestic. So giving him a wife sort of feels pointless, because yeah, he's not going to settle down. He's not going to, you know, even if River travelled with the 11th Doctor for a long period of time, that would really, I'm not going to say it damages the show, but it will really put off a lot of your audience. You know, some people don't like River at all. I'm in the middle. I think she's a good idea for a character. Probably not utilised too well in the later run. I would say she's a bit too perfect, and at the same time, her life also revolves completely around the Doctor, which makes her less interesting, really. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, being domestic doesn't suit the Doctor. Yeah, well, I was saying that in the new series, what is it now? Death in Heaven. In that episode, Clarissa the Doctor was married 4 times, and that confused me. Because presumably once for River Song, once for Elizabeth I, and I don't know about the second one, but I could see them leaving the first one ambiguous, because some people like to believe their Doctor might have been married back on Gallifrey, you know, hence why he has a granddaughter. So, yeah, again, I know that's weird. We point out the Doctor, we don't really like romance with the Doctor, but he probably could have been married back on Gallifrey, which is sort of weird. And if he was, we should probably never see that potential partner that he had. It's just because it would ruin part of the mystery, I suppose. That's another aspect too. I'm sort of going off on one point here. Is that, you know, we talk about the Doctor's name, but if we sort of know what he's into, doesn't that take away a lot of the mystery as well? I mean, we don't know his name, but at this point, that's one of the few things we don't know about him. We don't know his name, we don't know his parents, and you know, we've even got a few glimpses of his childhood. Yeah, but that doesn't bother me. You know, just stay away from it. You know, because obviously there's arguments that you need to keep some mystery about this character, but you know, my stance is that if you reveal too much, what you reveal might not be as interesting as what people have imagined as well. I mean, you know, we talk about the Doctor's name. We can't reveal his name now, not ever, because whatever it will be a letdown. If his name is something simple, if he turns out he's sort of, you know, he's an incarnation of death, an incarnation of the other, if he actually is half human on his mother's side, no matter what story they can make for the Doctor's background, it will never be as good as what people have imagined, or what people have suspected. And even if it was a really good, mysterious conclusion to the Doctor's character, it will wear off after a while. So, you know, obvious statement to keep some mystery around the Doctor. And what I was about to say, what I'm trying to get round to is, I don't really care either. You know, a Doctor, he's an alien, he saves people's lives. He's mysterious, he's dark, he's complex, he's funny, he's old and young at the same time, and all that jazz. You know, that's what I care about. I don't really bother about the mystery. You know, I just want to see him go on adventures. You know, get along, find new friends and companions, defeat villains, go through really interesting storylines, that sort of thing. I don't care about the Doctor's background. It's just a non-issue for me. Oh no, this section here, which I've been totally missing, by the way, I feel I must apologise, is the Doctor solves the puzzles and the River has to shoot the Soylent. This I found very difficult the first time, because they just kept coming and coming. Of course, the solution, or to try and make it easier on yourself, is to complete the puzzle part as fast as you possibly can. Because obviously the amount of time the Doctor spends solving the puzzles is the same amount of time the River has to fend them off here. And by the way, I'm stuck on a 2D plane, and I have to shoot in 3 directions. Yeah, F you. And the point is, you can't charge your weapon, just fire repeatedly. You can see I'm being hyperactive about this because obviously it's a bit tricky to aim. There is auto aiming, but it's so awkward to do with the sort of right analog stick. So again, just sort of run round, be fast, and just spam the trigger button again and again, fast as you can. Because 3 hits kill them. So essentially, just be quick. That's my advice for the River part. Yes, and with this, the slice of pizza will be complete. Ugh. And yeah, actually, this is the final boss of this, the final boss of the Silence section. Oh, but these fuckers are so irritating because they'll just appear right in front of you, get all up in your grill. But speaking of which, the Silence, they have a great look. Well, I have to wonder how are they always wet? A great look, a great idea of having this sort of conspiracy-based enemy. They've always been there, but we just don't know. Again, I'm a little sketchy on how they work. Apparently, images of them can erase your memory as well. How does that work? If you get like I've seen it. You can get like a film of them, and that will work. But what if the film's blurry and it's like half there? Or what if it's just a picture? That works too, but what if the picture is just badly drawn? Will it only half work? Oh, I'm probably overthinking this. Anyway, the end is here, but I don't want to go.